Sup, Nerdmigos? Jive talking Nerd John Norgrove here. We got Wife. We're going to do a quickie review because it's late and I have work still to do, sadly.
Yeah, I've got sleep to do.
She has to sleep, so whatever. So last night was Terrible Movie Tuesday for our little friend group.
Yep.
Shout out to the Caledonian Club Ops crew. What's up?
Yeah.
And so we like we're gangsters or something. And so we watched Tremors, which I love. Tremors.
I have loved Tremors
to death
since the day it came out in 1990.
It's so good.
It's
like
good.
An instant classic. Oh my god, I loved it so much.
Yeah.
So
for those
we're just
of
gonna
you
go into
that
it.
don't know what Tremors is, IMDb says
read the description for
natives. It says comedy and horror.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Natives of a small isolated town defend themselves against strange underground creatures which are killing them one by one. Did you guys know that there's no worm emoji? Because we looked for a worm emoji.
Oh my god, when we were gonna post it, we
was
couldn't.
hedgehog and caterpillar.
Yeah. So that's
like
a life
if you've
thing.
got an emoji that would work for Tremors, like
yeah, tell us what you think
I
that
want
emoji
to know
is.
because
Tell us
we
what you think that
debated
emoji
this
is.
for like a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we all know the plot. Those of us that don't know the plot, go watch the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Just right away. Just go do it. You're gonna love it.
Obviously, like if you haven't seen it, obviously go see it. But Tremors is like a movie that they made about the game of lava, where instead of stepping on lava, it's actually just like giant worms.
Yeah.
So that's what Tremors is. Lava, but with giant worms instead of lava. I'm pretty sure that I just saw a moth get incinerated by that light bulb.
Yeah,
while
I was
talking.
like I heard the light bulb shake, and I was just like, what just died in there?
Maybe
I'm sorry.
We were having an earthquake.
Totally. That was ridiculous.
Insane, guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have like a moth problem out here.
Yeah,
so
we have a lot of
sometimes when I have to go
moths.
outside and grab something, they escape into the house because they
Yeah.
want to die. I swear to God, that's the life cycle of moths, is the desire for death.
Yeah, it's absurd.
It's absurd.
There's so many bugs. Anyway.
What's your favorite part of the movie?
Oh.
Let's talk. We're going to talk favorites. Tell us below what your favorite part is as well.
Okay, my favorite part is cliche, but it's the part at the very, very end where the Tremors like worm goes through the cliffside and then lands on the ground.
Yeah.
That is my favorite part. There's something about it just like flying out.
Yeah.
That's just so absurd. And like I just can't get enough of it. In fact, when we were watching it, I was like, hey, don't miss it. Don't miss this part.
Yeah, like it's gonna happen. Okay, so far and away, my favorite part is when the worm breaks through the wall at that guy's shelter.
Oh, at the underground shelter.
At the underground shelter.
The dude, what's his name? What's his name?
like 48-minute long shooting bullets. They're like reloading and shit. They're like putting guns down and picking it up, and it's just it's
Bert.
Yeah, Bert.
Yeah.
Bert and his wife's underground like
Bert and
shelter
his wife,
or whatever.
Heather, aka Reba McEntire.
Oh my god, it's so good. Everything about this movie is fantastic. I mean, who are the two leads?
Okay, so Kevin Bacon.
Oh my god,
obviously.
Mr. Miyagi's in this also.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon is in this. Fred Ward is in this. He's one of those actors who like you see his name and you're like, oh, I'm 100% gonna forget that name in like 5 minutes.
But then you know
see
his
him
face
in like a ton of movies.
%.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's that guy. So Kevin Bacon, that guy, Fred Ward. The female in it, her name is Finn Carter. I didn't really see anything else that she'd been in. And then Mr. Miyagi is in it. And then there's like an annoying teenager, his mom, and then there's a daughter. So there's this little girl named Mindy, and she does the pogo stick everywhere.
It's
We
so
saw her
absurd
for
that her
half a
thing
second.
is pogo stick.
Well, so we saw her for about a half a second, and as soon as we saw her face, immediately John and I looked at each other, and we were just like, "That's the girl from Jurassic Park."
I honestly don't think that I knew that the girl from Jurassic Park was also the girl from Tremors.
I did not realize that that's who that
and that's
was.
absurd because I love both of those movies and have seen them like a million times.
Yeah.
But oh my god, it's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love the
fucking
absurdity about it because
the characters are all good.
You have to be on the roof, except for like when it's fine, but like it's okay on the rocks. Yeah. And some places like you can be inside, but like
it's
they're
like
not going to come get you.
Unapologetically, its own laws of physics.
Yeah, it's its own laws. I love. I think probably one of the most absurd scenes with regards to that stuff is when they show, they're like, oh, surely somebody's gonna come find us, you know, now that like the road's out and stuff, and then it shows the car that's, you know, like come to find them because like the road went out, and it's like two worker guys, so there's like a hard hat, you know, it's got like the furrowed dirt, and there's a hard hat, and then like a tool belt. So like we already previously knew that the Tremors worms didn't eat your hat, because your hat would fly off your head because you get sucked down so fast, right? Okay, that makes sense. But why his tool belt? Was his tool belt so loose that it just flew off of his body?
Oh no, spit the tool belt back out.
Was he holding the tool belt?
That's for horror.
Did he spit it back out?
It's because they're super smart, they know.
It is. One of them is real smart. One of them was maybe real more than smart. And then for a while they're like fishing with like with dynamite, with basically dynamite, homemade dynamites.
It's fucking absurd.
I love all the little details inside the store too. So like when you look at the store, and because they spend a lot of time inside the store, but when you look inside the store, there's a whole bunch of hilarious yet absurd little details. Like it's a tiny town. I actually looked it up. Town doesn't exist. And the nearest town that they talk about is in Bixby. It's called Bixby, and there is no town in Nevada called Bixby. Or nearabouts. There's like a Bixby, Missouri and stuff, but their plates are Nevada, and it also looks like Nevada, so you know it's Nevada. But like, so obviously it's a tiny town with a tiny store, but like the store has like, you know, it's got like a food counter, and then there's like a spot over here where you can
you're buying like rakes
you can
and
rent
shovels
movies,
and
then there's like
a
bunch of like, you know, household goods and like groceries
dude,
and stuff.
It's a
and
small
then
town
in one
store.
side there's a spot where you can get your hair cut.
Yeah, it's like a general store.
It's so funny to me that it's like an all-in-one roof.
Yeah, well, there's only one of them, so it all has to be there.
That's true, and it's a town that has a population of 12.
Yeah.
According to the thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's, like, in general, what makes this movie good is, one, the fact that they went to the detail to add all those things, but it's all, I mean, you know, like, fine, whatever, it was 91, maybe there wasn't
1990.
CGI. 90. You know, maybe there wasn't CGI yet good enough, or whatever. But, I mean, you can tell, like, the effects still work.
Well, the effects
everything's
are
still
primarily
good.
Practical effects too. I think that there's very few things that are not practical, and the ones that
there's a little bit of camera trickery for scaling, but not very much.
Yeah, the ones that probably aren't are very like green screen, you know, like not CGI. You know, you're looking at like other types of you're talking like they're doing layered shots. Like I think there's a couple where it's pretty obvious that they're doing the layered shots where you kind of you cover an area that while you're exposing it, and then you cover, you know, so that way you can lay areas on top of each other. Like for like physical film, the way you do effects for physical film is different, but it's actually like more logical if you really think about it or look into it. But there was like a little bit of that, I think. But for the most part, it was just they built this very tiny, very well-defined world, and we'll see later on that this gets increasingly absurd and large as
in
the
scope
movies go on.
As the movies go on. Yeah, wow. We're in for a fucking treat with all of these movies.
Yeah.
But this first one is just, it's small. All of the characters like have a meaning. There's literally no background characters.
No, because there's only
every character
a few
exists to an effect. Right? Even, I mean, I guess I would say maybe the construction workers were the most background of all the characters.
Or the old man who's sheep and then he gets eaten.
Yeah, but he had like shit in town. Like people knew him in town, so he. You know, I feel like the least known, like the least important nameless extra characters were the construction workers, and they still got like a dope death scene that set up a lot of development, and so it's that thing where you're just getting like it's very small and very tight, but it feels very full.
Well,
with
it's also
regard
very,
to what it's doing.
like self-aware.
Oh my god, yeah.
So
it's like borderline Deadpool levels of self-aware with regard to how it's doing everything. It's just...
Which is actually quite rare
so
for a horror movie
so
in that time frame. Most horror movies, even like B-movie level horror movies in that time frame, were not funny. They were only scary.
Yeah.
You know, you did have, like, some funny, scary ones, but, like, by and large, you didn't really have that in horror.
See, it's funny.
Really, the only thing in that time frame that I felt...
or horror.
Well,
it's just
that's
an
what it's
action
supposed
movie.
To be. Yeah, that's what it is. It's following. It's following the '80s action movie thing. But like the only
worms
other horror movies
crazier than Terminator
that you could like do that with were, like the Freddy movies. So this was really like kind of groundbreaking for its time in terms of the type of horror.
Yeah, it's a yeah. I mean, like.
Also,
I've literally never thought of it as horror or comedy.
When this came out, my brother and I were still kids, and this changed our playing like lava, floor is hot, like don't touch the floor game. Everybody's played don't touch the floor game. Just depends on what you call it.
It's called lava. Whatever you call it,
we called it
it's
lava,
wrong.
but like
I called it lava also.
But I feel like it's probably
a California thing.
Regional, like soda and pop, bag and sack.
I mean, a bag and a sack are different things.
And chips.
Soda is soda and pop is
smoke and a pancake.
For old people. It's not. It's also not called a fucking smoke and a pancake.
No, but this changed our entire game for playing lava.
Yeah.
Like our whole lava experience was upgraded, and we wanted to like do like double stakes. It would be like lava, but with Tremors worms.
Oh man, yeah.
That was the most dangerous kind of lava.
I definitely played Tremors. Let me tell you what. I definitely played Tremors. Like, you know what? Really, Tremors is one of those shows that both as an action film, I really never ever considered it comedy or horror. But, you know, and I guess to an extent as comedy and horror, like, it was sort of formative for me with regard to, like when I watched it, you know, and I don't know how old I was when I watched it. I doubt I watched it when I was fucking 3 or something. Wow, who knows?
But, I mean, maybe.
But yeah, maybe. Who knows? but like, it was just like I remember watching the Tremors movies at like sort of across time, and even the newest one, which I've seen all of them, even the newest one, and at no point in time are you ever like it. They're like the easiest movies to watch. You're just like, yes, cool, it's great, it's absurd, everything makes sense. They're so well done in their simplicity.
Yeah.
And especially this first one. It's just like
they don't
genuinely a fucking great movie.
And they also don't get like super into the weeds about it. It's very like, we don't know why these things are here.
Yeah.
But they're definitely here. And like you learn a lot more about the Tremors things as the movies go on.
And it gets more scientific, which is not true. But
kind of the opposite.
I mean, like in this movie, she flicks at a bloody scale or some shit that's sticking out.
Seismograph.
No, the scale on the side of the fucking monster when she like shows it, and she's like it's like a tooth coming out the side of its fucking body.
Like a talon.
And there's a bunch of them, and she's like, this must be how it propulses itself, and that's why it can move so fast. And it's like, that's why it can move. What the fuck are you talking about? You know?
Yeah.
But you just, at no point in time do they ever try to explain some shit to you. They're just like, this is how it works. The road's closed. None of the trucks can go over the mountain. You just fucking accept this shit.
We can't hike through the mountains. It's too much.
Everybody be quiet. The Tremors can hear you when you're talking through the fucking walls.
Yeah.
All the way down to the ground because we're on the fucking roof.
You can't step on the ground or make a sound, but you can pole vault to the next set of rocks, and that's fine.
Yeah. What? Like, oh,
You know what, though? I don't even care.
It's still so good, though.
It's so good.
Like, they're not even complaints. At this point in time, they're just part of the joke.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But, whatever. Digressions aside or whatever.
So, how many homemade dynamites would you say that this is for you?
I mean, I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give this 5 dynamites out of 5 Tremors. So yeah, all dead.
I'm gonna give this 5 lasso dynamites.
Yeah,
it's
out of 5
too good. Left behind
it's too fucking good.
It's too good. Highly recommend you guys check it out. We watched it on Netflix, but I imagine that there's multiple ways you can watch it, including, if you're this crazy about it, VHS.
Yeah, watch it on VHS, man. Get the full experience.
I know you can get it on VHS because
Track that shit, dog.
Remember
tracking?
Man, remember having to figure out tracking?
Now, tracking was easy to figure out. It was just the fact that you had to get up. What I really hated was when you put in a VHS tape and the tracking was like dynamite. And then you got done with that movie and you put in the second one. You remember VHS tapes that were 2 VHS tapes?
Yeah.
You had to watch 2 tapes to watch a whole fucking movie. And then you'd put in the second one and the tracking's just like 9 Ways from Sunday. And you're like...
Yeah. You're just like, what's happening in my life?
What even is this? Why are they different? It's in the same fucking box. Oh, man. VHS tapes. Or rewinding them? Oof. Boy, there's no depression quite like putting in a tape. You're just like, I'm going to put on this movie. And you put in a movie, and it's just like... like credits.
Oh my god,
and you're like,
it's the worst.
You're like, fuck! Yeah. Who didn't rewind this?
Yeah.
You know?
And we never had a rewinder, so like you had to rewind it in the VHS player, so it was especially painful.
We had a rewinder. It was one of those red race car ones. But it didn't, you know, when you put it in and then you close it and it rewinds and then it stops rewinding and then it opens. This one would just stop rewinding and then fucking explode open with just like bah, big hands, glitter, just fucking out here, and it just and the whole time you press it down and it would just be like it was just slowly picking up speed. And then
I
fucking
had a friend that had one of those,
closed.
and they did make that sound. It was
crazy,
horrifying listening to those spool up.
So
but we never had one, so we had the shame.
I took ours apart.
Of not.
You don't want. You know, it ruins tapes.
Yeah,
those were trash. So I took it apart. This is how those worked. All right, the circuit board just sped the motor up by the fucking by. So it did in fact pick up speed over time, right? So when the way that it opened on these, the cheap ones, right? There was no like electronics or anything. When the motor stopped because it ran out of tape to rewind, the tape would jump inside of the little box there, and that jump would twist the little frame that it sat in enough to release a tiny latch off to the side. I remember because I took it apart and was like, oh, it's asking to open up by breaking your fucking tapes.
Yeah.
This piece of shit.
Well,
because it stopped working and I took it apart and was like, oh, these are evil. Throw it away.
Yeah.
And then
I had
DVDs
friends that
came
had
out,
those and they had tapes that got destroyed because of it.
Real nerd moment. You remember VCDs? They were DVDs, but it wasn't on a DVD disc. It was just on a regular CD. And so to watch a movie, you had to watch like 9 CDs. You remember VCDs?
I remember making them.
We bought VCDs. We still have VCDs.
That's some.
Oh yeah.
That's some flea market stuff. Right
That's high
there.
quality shit. I think we got it like, I don't know.
At the flea market.
In some sort of like no. We bought it on the internet. We bought VCDs post. We had VCDs when it was a thing. We also bought them post when it was a thing because I was able to buy a Blu-ray player that retroactively was able to play VCDs, so that we could watch Earth 2. Great TV show. On 900 discs. Anyway.
All right, so that was Terrible Movie Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Even though we're talking about it not on a Tuesday, but that's fine.
You get used to the delay in how we do movies. Like this video, comment below about all the stuff that we told you to comment about, or maybe some new stuff, whatever. If you have a terrible movie you can think about, let's talk about it.
Yeah, give us some ideas, because some terrible movies are not terrible.
That terrible. Like this one.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Also, I need some ideas, because the next Terrible Movie Tuesday is my birthday.
It's fair, yeah.
And it's happening during plague time, so I need something.
We're going to watch Star Wars. Ah!
No, we're probably going to watch a whole bunch of horror movies.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Anywho, John, wife, review, whatever the fuck I just said. Tremors.
Review plus rant.
Yeah. All right. Bye.